Sigma males often find themselves at odds with societal norms, standing apart from the crowd due to their unique perspectives and approaches to life. However, this very independence and self-assuredness can sometimes lead to misunderstandings and conflicts with others. One of the most intriguing aspects of Sigma males is how their mere presence can evoke strong reactions from those around them, often for reasons that may seem unconventional or even perplexing to outsiders. While Sigma males value their autonomy and often thrive in solitude, this very trait can be off-putting to those who prefer more traditional social dynamics. Additionally, their tendency to prioritize personal growth and self-reliance over conformity can be perceived as a threat to those who thrive in group settings. This, coupled with their natural ability to see through superficiality and question societal norms, can make Sigma males a challenging presence for those who prefer the comfort of the familiar. Number 20. Sigma men often struggle with asking for help, preferring to handle things on their own. They may see asking for help as a sign of weakness, believing that they should be able to solve their own problems without assistance. This can be challenging for Sigma men, as they may find themselves overwhelmed or struggling to cope with difficult situations. However, Sigma men are also resourceful and independent, able to find creative solutions to their problems without relying on others. They may be hesitant to seek help from others, but they are also willing to offer their assistance to those in need. Sigma men value self-reliance and autonomy, but they also recognize the importance of collaboration and teamwork. They may need to learn to balance their desire for independence with the reality that sometimes asking for help is the best course of action. Through humility and self-awareness, Sigma men can learn to overcome their reluctance to ask for help and build stronger, more resilient relationships with others. Number 19. Sigma men often struggle with the constant pressure to stay independent. In a world that values conformity and obedience, Sigma men stand out for their fierce independence and self-reliance. They are not swayed by peer pressure or societal expectations, preferring to follow their own path and make their own decisions. However, this independence can also be a burden, as Sigma men may find themselves isolated or misunderstood by others. They may struggle to fit in with traditional social structures and norms, leading them to feel like outsiders. Despite this, Sigma men remain true to themselves, believing that their independence is a strength rather than a weakness. They are comfortable being alone and do not rely on others for validation or approval. This can make them seem mysterious or aloof to others, but Sigma men are simply following their own inner compass, guided by their own values and beliefs. In the end, their independence is what sets them apart and allows them to forge their own unique path in life. Number 18. Sigma men are experts in reading people. They have a keen ability to understand others' emotions, motivations, and intentions, often without the need for words. This skill allows Sigma men to navigate social situations with ease, as they can quickly assess the dynamics at play and adjust their behavior accordingly. However, this ability can also be a burden, as Sigma men may find themselves constantly analyzing others and second-guessing their interactions. They may be hyper-aware of subtle cues and body language, which can be exhausting in social settings. Despite this, Sigma men value this skill as it allows them to form deep and meaningful connections with others. They are often sought after for their insights and advice, as they are able to offer a unique perspective on interpersonal relationships. Number 17. Sigma men often struggle with being hard to read. Their quiet and reserved nature can make it difficult for others to understand their thoughts and feelings. They may keep their emotions hidden, preferring to deal with them privately rather than sharing them with others. This can lead to misunderstandings, as others may misinterpret their silence as indifference or aloofness. However, Sigma men value their privacy and believe that actions speak louder than words. They are not concerned with how others perceive them and are comfortable with being misunderstood. While this may make it challenging for others to get to know them, Sigma men are often more concerned with being true to themselves than with fitting in or being understood by others. They value depth and authenticity in their relationships, preferring a few close connections to a large circle of acquaintances. This can make them seem mysterious or enigmatic to others, but Sigma men are simply following their own path and staying true to their values. Number 16. Sigma men often struggle with manipulation of emotions. They are acutely aware of the power of emotions and may use this knowledge to influence others. This can be a double-edged sword, as Sigma men may use their emotional intelligence for both good and bad purposes. On one hand, they may use their ability to understand and empathize with others to build strong and meaningful relationships. On the other hand, they may also use their skills to manipulate others for personal gain. This can make Sigma men seem charming and charismatic, but also calculating and manipulative. However, Sigma men value honesty and integrity and are unlikely to use manipulation as a primary tactic. Instead, they prefer to build genuine connections based on mutual respect and understanding. While they may occasionally use their emotional intelligence to achieve their goals, Sigma men are more focused on building authentic relationships built on trust and respect. Number 15. Sigma men are unpredictable. They are not bound by societal norms or expectations and prefer to follow their own path. This can make them difficult to predict, as they may change course unexpectedly or make decisions that seem illogical to others. However, Sigma men value their independence and autonomy and are not concerned with fitting in or conforming to others' expectations. They are comfortable with uncertainty and are willing to take risks to achieve their goals. This can make them seem mysterious or enigmatic to others, but Sigma men are simply following their own inner compass. They trust in their own judgment and are not swayed by external influences. While this may make them unpredictable to others, Sigma men are confident in their ability to navigate life's challenges and are unafraid to chart their own course. Number 14. Sigma men are experts at holding grudges. They have a long memory for past grievances and are not quick to forgive or forget. This can be a double-edged sword, as Sigma men may use their ability to hold grudges as a form of protection, ensuring that they are not taken advantage of or mistreated again. However, this can also lead to feelings of bitterness and resentment, as Sigma men may find it difficult to move on from past hurts. Despite this, Sigma men value loyalty and justice, and they believe that holding on to grudges is a way to uphold their principles. They are unlikely to forgive someone who has wronged them, but they are also unlikely to seek revenge. Instead, Sigma men prefer to distance themselves from those who have hurt them, choosing to focus on their own well-being rather than seeking retribution. Number 13. Sigma men are always thinking ahead. They are strategic and analytical, constantly planning for the future and anticipating potential outcomes. This can make them seem calculating or aloof to others, but Sigma men are simply following their natural inclination to plan and prepare. They value efficiency and effectiveness and are always looking for ways to improve themselves and their circumstances. This forward-thinking mindset can be a strength, as Sigma men are often able to anticipate problems and find solutions before they arise. However, it can also be a weakness, as Sigma men may struggle to live in the present moment and enjoy life's simple pleasures. Despite this, Sigma men value balance and strive to find harmony between planning for the future and living in the moment. They believe that by staying one step ahead, they can better navigate life's challenges and achieve their goals. Number 12. Sigma men face constant pressure to stay independent. In a world that often values conformity and groupthink, Sigma men stand out for their ability to think and act independently. They are not swayed by peer pressure or societal expectations, preferring to follow their own path and make their own decisions. However, this independence can sometimes be a double-edged sword, as Sigma men may find themselves isolated or misunderstood by others. They may struggle to fit in with traditional social structures and norms, leading them to feel like outsiders. Despite this, Sigma men remain true to themselves, believing that their independence is a strength rather than a weakness. They are comfortable being alone and do not rely on others for validation or approval. This can make them seem mysterious or aloof to others, but Sigma men are simply following their own inner compass, guided by their own values and beliefs. In the end, their independence is what sets them apart and allows them to forge their own unique path in life. Number 11. Sigma men often struggle with finding a partner who aligns with their values. They seek deep connections and meaningful relationships, but their unique personality can make it challenging to find someone who truly understands them. Sigmas value independence and self-reliance, and they often look for these qualities in a partner as well. However, this can lead to a sense of isolation, as they may struggle to find someone who shares their perspective on life. Additionally, Sigma men are often misunderstood, which can make it difficult for them to open up and trust others. They may fear that their partner will not accept them for who they truly are, leading them to keep their guard up and maintain a certain level of distance in their relationships. Despite these challenges, Sigma men are loyal and dedicated partners, willing to put in the effort to make a relationship work. They value honesty and authenticity, and they are looking for a partner who shares these values. In the end, finding the right partner is a journey for Sigma men, one that requires patience, understanding, and a willingness to be vulnerable. Number 10. Sigma men often struggle with trust issues, finding it difficult to open up and rely on others. They may have been hurt in the past, leading them to build walls around their hearts to protect themselves from further pain. This can make it challenging for Sigma men to form deep and meaningful connections with others, as they are always on guard and hesitant to let their guard down. However, Sigma men are also fiercely loyal and devoted once they do trust someone, willing to go to great lengths to protect and support those they care about. They value honesty and integrity in others, and they expect the same in return. While it may take time for Sigma men to trust others, once they do, their loyalty knows no bounds. They are willing to put their trust in someone who has proven themselves worthy, but they are also quick to cut ties with those who betray their trust. Number 9. People find Sigma men hard to figure out. These guys are always full of surprises, like books with unexpected plot twists. Just when you think you've got them pegged, they'll do something completely unexpected. The reason behind this is simple: they don't follow the same rules as everyone else. Instead of doing things to fit in or please others, they act based on their own beliefs and experiences. This makes them tricky to predict because they might react differently from what you expect. Adding to the mystery is their quietness. They don't share much about themselves or their plans, making it hard for others to guess what they're up to. But it's not because they're trying to confuse people, it's just their nature. They prefer keeping their thoughts and feelings to themselves, valuing their privacy highly, and not feeling obligated to explain themselves to anyone. This might make them seem distant or unapproachable, but it's just who they are. Number 8. People often misunderstand Sigma men. Some think these individuals are being tricky, acting like they're playing hard to get. It seems like they want to set themselves apart from everyone else to make themselves special. This can confuse people, making them unsure if it's genuine or just an act. People struggle to understand if these individuals are genuinely unique or if they're pretending to be something they're not. This uncertainty can make others feel unsure or even irritated. Sigma men don't bother with trying to be different or playing games. They're comfortable being themselves. If others can't accept that, it's not their concern. They have a strong sense of self and aren't swayed by societal expectations or peer pressure. This might seem odd to some, but for Sigmas, it's just their natural state. While an alpha male might strive to be the center of attention, a Sigma man is fine with being on the sidelines. This can be perplexing for those accustomed to seeing men compete for dominance and attention in social settings. However, for Sigma men, it's not about playing games or trying to stand out, it's simply how they naturally are. Number 7. Sigma men are quiet and like to keep to themselves. Many people find it difficult when someone doesn't talk much. They might think the person isn't friendly or doesn't like them. This can happen with Sigma men too, because they tend to stay quiet and take everything in. people might feel left out or confused. They might wonder why Sigmas don't want to talk or spend time with them. This sometimes leads to misunderstandings or wrong assumptions. But it's not about being unfriendly or uninterested. They simply prefer to keep to themselves. You won't catch a Sigma gossiping or talking about others behind their backs. He values privacy and believes actions are more important than words. He likes to watch and think about situations before acting. This might make him seem mysterious or distant, but it's just his way of understanding things and keeping his personal life safe. Number 6. Sigma men deal with their problems all alone. They are like lone wolves, strong in being alone. They don't ask for help from others or depend on a group to fix their problems. It's not about being too proud or stubborn. They trust in themselves to handle challenges alone. They believe they can get through difficulties without outside support, viewing problems as tests of their strength and toughness. They often keep their struggles private, not because they're hiding something, but because they feel it's their duty to handle things on their own. They prefer to do things themselves, trusting their own judgment and abilities. They don't avoid responsibility or tough situations. They confront them directly, knowing they can find a way through. Every problem is a chance to grow and become stronger. It doesn't mean they never seek help, but they only do so when they really need it. They value being independent and able to rely on themselves in a world where many seek outside help. They stand out as self-reliant problem solvers. Number 5. People think Sigma men are too proud. When someone is quiet and confident, people might think they're acting like they know everything. Sigma men usually stay calm and collected, which might seem like they're being unfriendly or better than others. Unlike alphas who like to be the center of attention, Sigma men prefer to stay in the background and watch and listen. Some people think they're not interested or don't care, but Sigmas are just careful with what they say and do. They only speak up when they have something important to say, not just to talk. This can make them seem mysterious and a bit scary to others. When people feel scared or don't understand something, they might call it arrogance. It's like our society's way of ignoring what we don't get. We give scary names to things we don't understand and make excuses for our own mistakes. Number 4. Sigma men are not influenced by status. The idea of status and how it affects our lives can be interesting or disheartening depending on how we look at it. Everyone has felt the impact, whether it's good or bad, of wanting to be seen as having a higher position in society. We see people around us trying hard to show off what they have, hoping others will admire and respect them more. The higher up you are, the more respect you usually get. That's why some people will do anything to be at the top. However, there are others like Sigma men who don't care much for this social ladder based on showing off. They're not impressed by fancy cars or expensive clothes because they know real worth is about more than just stuff. This might make others think they're stuck up or snobby for not following the usual rules, but it's just another way they think for themselves and don't follow what everyone else does. They value what's real over what looks good, and you can't buy their respect or loyalty with status or things. Number 3. Sigma men don't accept things as they appear. Have you ever wondered about why someone says or does something? That's something the Sigma type of person deals with every day. This kind of person doesn't just accept things at face value. They always look deeper to find out the real reason and the true meaning behind someone's words or actions. They think for themselves and don't just believe what others say, but instead make their own opinions after careful thought and analysis. Some people might feel threatened by this because they prefer not to have their authority or opinions questioned. Sigma individuals aren't afraid to challenge the way things are and can often see when people are being dishonest or hiding something. This can make others uncomfortable, especially if they have secrets or are afraid of being found out. It's easier for people to dislike someone who questions their beliefs than to admit they might be wrong, but for Sigma people, finding the truth is more important than trying to fit in or make others happy. Number 2. Sigma men bravely oppose the majority. It's tough to go against what everyone else is doing, especially when they're all pushing you to do the same thing. But being brave enough to make your own choices, even if they're different from everyone else's, is important. This is something that Sigma man understands well. He's figured out how to take charge of his life by boldly picking what's important to him and not worrying about what others think. He doesn't need other people to tell him he's doing the right thing to feel good about himself. He's okay with being by himself instead of always being in big groups where he has to act a certain way. Some people wish they could be like him, but they also feel jealous because he's not following what society says is normal. Being brave enough to break free from what's expected is something a lot of people admire, but it's also scary to think about doing it yourself. They might not like Sigma men because they're everything they wish they could be: independent, confident, and true to themselves. Some people might try to bring him down because they know they can't be like him, even though deep down they might want to live their lives the same way. Number 1. Sigma men speak their thoughts openly. Many folks don't like hearing the truth, especially when it's not what they want to hear. So they like to be around folks who tell them what they want to hear rather than what they need to hear. A Sigma guy doesn't soften his words or try to make others feel comfortable. He speaks his mind with honesty that some find upsetting, but many appreciate his directness. When a Sigma gives feedback or shares his thoughts, he means every word. He doesn't beat around the bush or give vague compliments. This honesty can be tough for those used to getting praise and validation, especially from powerful people. It's easy to see why some folks dislike Sigma men who don't play along, but they're not trying to hurt anyone. They just want to address the heart of the matter. While this might upset some, it's also what earns respect and admiration from others. Thank you for your attention. You can now become a member of the channel by clicking the join button under this video.